Collier Motors Paint and Body presents the Coach Matt Griffith Show on our Coach's Corner. And last Friday night, a prelude to the first round of the 5A playoffs. Sylacauga beats Calera at Legion Stadium 42-28. And Dashon Looney had a career night, didn't he, Coach?
He did. You know, I think a lot of folks don't realize that Dashon has started all year. He's been in our slot back, and when we shift, we put him in the eye, and we run some counter to him, and he's always the pitch back and the option. And But with Alex being hurt, we moved Dashon to the B back, and we used a guy, DeCarius Mickey at our A. You know, Dashon just had a breakout game. You know, we've got an older line that's been together a long time. They did a great job Friday night. They opened up holes. And, you know, Dashon brings a little bit of a cut quickness to that B-back position where, you know, Alex is more of a hammer, you know, type kid. So, and Dashon kind of gets lost up in there sometimes and breaks out. So it was a little bit different look for them, and he had a heck of a night. He's a great kid, and he deserves that.
Well, once he got in the secondary, it was full speed ahead. 5 touchdowns for Looney, and Sylacauga beats Calera 42-28. Who else stood out to you in this game?
Well, I mean, I thought Austin Decker played a heck of a game. I mean, Austin's our left guard. He did a good job all night. And you know, you can't probably say enough about Jackson Walker, who's an unsung hero there.
He's steady, isn't he?
Just managing the game and running the offense. You know, not having offsides penalties, lining kids up, making the right reads on the option and those kind of things. And, you know, people don't realize that Jackson's sitting at 19 or 20 wins as a starting quarterback, and he's got the most wins of any quarterback in the time period that I've been here. And, you know, there's not enough credit go to that, just of being a manager of the game right there. I think he did well. I thought Cade Bryant played well. You know, we just had a lot of kids step up and play. Kalis Pope did a good job. Kalis is probably 5'5", 5'6", 135 pounds. He is on a 6'5" wide out. And I don't know if we gave up a deep ball but maybe one time. And now he'll be sorely tested Friday, there's no doubt. I mean, they'll go back to that. But, you know, we were just proud of the kids. It was a closer game than that score sounds to, by the way. I mean, it was fixing to be 35-35 close in the fourth quarter, and we had a big stop.
Right. And
then we're running the clock out when Dashon breaks it for the last touchdown. So, close game.
It was senior night at the stadium, and what a fantastic group of seniors for this Aggie club.
Yeah, and your biggest hope now is that they have set the example, because our juniors and our sophomores are smaller classes. We've lost some of those guys that didn't want to do it the way we do it, that didn't want to buy into how we run our program. You know, I'm hoping a great example for the kids in the junior class and the sophomore class that are going to be your seniors and juniors next year, of the example that they set, that this is how we do things, this is why we do the things that we do, and this is why we win at Sylacauga. And you know, that's half the battle with kids nowadays. And you know, that's important because they've always done it the way we want to do it. And they've bought in, they've been great. And you know, we hope it's not over Friday night. You know, we keep telling them, you're one and done. You control your own destiny. If you win, you keep getting to play.
Well, Calera and Sylacauga last Friday night in the first half, it was just run and gun football, and I think Sylacauga scored 4 touchdowns or so in the first half. I can't remember exactly, but there's a lot of points scored.
There was
in
a
the
lot
first half.
You know, I think it was a 35-21 ball game at halftime, and you know, we don't want to get into scoring sprees. You know, we really don't want to do that, because now most of the time this year, but we've had it in the past, we've not been a big play offense this year. We have in the past, but not this year. We're a grinding team. There's a reason we do that, because of our personnel. But, you know, Dashon was explosive, and we kept matching scores, and then we jumped up a couple of scores, and we gave up one late right before half. And, you know, we feel that if we'd have kept that at 35-14, and if we don't give up a punt return to start the second half, that they were ready kind of just to lay down, because you're fixing to go up 4 or 5 scores. But, you know, you got to give them credit. They hang in there, they turn that back, and they make a ball game out of it.
42-28 Sylacauga over Calera. If Sylacauga had lost the game, they would still be in the playoffs, and they'd still be playing Calera. But tomorrow night, as you say, this is a new season. You win, you move on, you lose, you pack it up for the year.
That's right. I mean, we're going to be sitting in here next Thursday, and either we're going to be recapping the year, or we're going to be talking about playing either Carroll, Ozark, or Centradale. And, you know, and because it's one and done if you don't win, and it's critical. And, you know, people say, well, you're putting a lot of pressure on the kids. Good. Kids don't have enough pressure now. You know, that let's see how they act under pressure and realize that this is for all the marbles right here to keep playing. We talk about it all the time of winning seasons, making the playoffs, getting out of the first round, hosting playoff games, and here's their opportunity.
Well, Sylacauga is no stranger to high school playoffs. They have had some issues getting out of that first round. How big would that be to bring the second game back to Sylacauga?
Well, I mean, I think it's huge. We talked about it as a staff. The problem that we've run into in this decade at Sylacauga is that you are qualifying for the playoffs, and then you hit the #1 team in the state the first round. You're hitting a team that wins or plays for a state championship. You know, we hit Demopolis twice. We hit Spanish Fort that time. We played them at home in the second round. You're hitting a Walker team that we thought we had a good shot at and played them close. You know, we beat a Good Valley team to get in the second round that year. We played Russellville about my second year. They were ranked #1, went to the semifinals. So, you know, you're playing the best. But I tell you what it does, it taught our staff this over all these years. We know what it takes to win a state championship. We see these teams that win it and what they have, and it has helped us as a staff as the years go on, of knowing what it takes to get there and how it's done.
This late in the season, you played Calera last week. Probably safe to say not any drastic changes as far as the game coming up?
I don't think so. You go in with a similar game plan. We're doing it out of a lot of different formations to move him around a little bit. Don't fix it if it's not broke. But on the same token, you've got to give him some little twists so he cannot tee off on what he knows you want to do. So that's what we're trying to do. We think we've got a good feel of what he's going to try to do out of his offense. I mean, we really feel he's going to try to spread us out, make us tackle in space with his skill kids. And, we just got to do a good job.
Well, a couple of kids held out last week. They're still limping a little bit this week in practice.
Yeah, I mean, they're probably, we held Alex out. I think he's about 80 to 85%. I think Jacob Daniel was probably 60 to 70% yesterday. He was taking it really easy, not trying to cut on it. But he's got to get in there in that defensive team for his reads. And so you're trying to protect him, not getting hit, and it's difficult sometimes. So,
he may be your best linebacker.
There's no doubt he's our best linebacker. There's no doubt that he makes our defense line up front the way Cade Bryant lines it up in the secondary. If they can go, I feel really good. If they can't go, well, we won without them last week. We got to find a way to win without them. Those other guys have to step up and do a good job. I think we can get. I think Jacob can probably go 20, 22 snaps maybe. I think Alex may be in the same boat, and then we get them out of there if we see that they're starting to get a little sore so that we have them for the next week. Because every week they're getting just a little bit better, Ankles are tough. I mean, it's hard. It's not like the old days. In the old days, the doc came over there and shot your ankle up, and, those things don't go on anymore, and they probably shouldn't have then. We let kids heal. And so, we're letting them heal.
Sylacauga 8-2 on the regular season. Play Calera tomorrow night at Calera in first round of the 5A playoffs. And a final thought with Coach Matt Griffith. Special teams and turnovers gave up a punt return against Calera last week, and those two areas are going to be very critical to success.
And I tell you, we're furious over it. We have. In the 12 years I've been here, we've given up 2 punt returns in 12 years, and that was the second one. We gave up one at Hayden about 5 years ago, and it just infuriates us that happens. We take a lot of pride in our special teams coverage-wise, but there's a reason why it happened. We got it fixed. It wasn't necessarily a kid's fault more than a scheme fault that we didn't check on film, and we've got that corrected. Hopefully that won't happen again. And we'll see. Special teams will be critical, and turnovers will be critical. And who got their team ready to play and who wants to get in the second round.
All right, Coach Matt Griffith, the head football coach and athletic director at Sylacauga High School. The Aggies travel to Calera to take on the Eagles in round 1 of the 5A football playoffs. Coach, good luck to the Aggies, and we'll see you back. Oh, yeah, I got the big pep rally going on
We do this
today,
afternoon.
right?
I think it's at 5:30 at the stadium. It's a playoff pep rally. The whole community's invited. Anybody can come. And listen, come out because it's a treat. Our kids do a great job at pep rally. There's a lot of school pride at Sylacauga. Our band is fantastic at pep rallies. The cheerleaders are really good. There is a lot of great things going on in our school right now.
All right, we'll see you next week.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
More on Daybreak right after this.